Hello. In the last video we looked at memorials from the medieval period. By the 16th century tastes are beginning to change, influenced by the styles and the techniques of the sculptors from Renaissance Italy, and by the restoration of the monarchy in 1660 the transition in fashion is complete. Italian marble replaced alabaster as the material of choice, and various elements such as the classical order of columns and swags and wreaths and obelisks and coffering are beginning to feature. And the posture changed from the figure always being shown recumbent to either reclining or kneeling, often surrounded by family members as in life, and wall monuments became popular. With the loss of wall paintings after the Reformation, there's lots of empty wall space available. This monument is to William Cordell, who died in 1580. It's at Holy Trinity Church, Long Melford in Suffolk. Cordell was a lawyer and courtier and Speaker of the House of Commons. He's shown in medieval armour with his hands clasped in prayer, but around him rise classical columns supporting coffered arches and the cardinal virtues of classicism, prudence, justice, temperance and fortitude watch over him in Roman dress. And the monument is in the style of a Roman temple. This would have been thought pagan just a few years earlier. This is a memorial of Sir John Glanville. It's at the Church of St Eustatius in Tavistock. And in 1586, Sir John became the first solicitor to be made a judge. He died in 1600, and he'd been MP at various times for Tavistock, St Germans and Launceston. His wife is kneeling dutifully beside him, but I can tell you she remarried. And the children on the tomb chest have lost their heads, most probably defaced by the Puritans during the Civil War. And the Puritans favoured mortality references, memento mori. For example, this is in St John's Church at Chester. And this memorial to Sir John Hotham is in St Mary's Church, South Dalton in the East Riding. Dates to around about 1697. And Sir John's effigy is reclining above a skeleton, and his supporters are those four classical cardinal virtues again: justice, temperance, prudence and fortitude. Grinling Gibbons is best known for his exquisite wood carving, which you can see at St Paul's, Hampton Court Palace, Blenheim Palace, Petworth House and elsewhere. But he also did fine memorials in the newly fashionable style. This memorial is of Henry Somerset, the first Duke of Beaufort, who died in 1700. It's at the Church of St Michael and All Angels, Badminton in Gloucestershire. And the Duke is shown in his Knight of the Garter robes, reclining on a sarcophagus and a plinth with the relief of St George and the Dragon. And there are 2 Corinthian columns, an acanthus frieze, a cornice with flaming urns, and full-length allegorical figures of justice and truth. The memorial is 25 feet high, and at the top is a tasselled cushion holding the Duke's coronet. The Latin inscription on the base lists the names of his family and the various offices that the Duke had held. At the Church of St Peter and St Paul, Exton in Rutland, there is this memorial to Viscount Campden, who died in 1682, and it shows his wife, his 4th wife, Elizabeth, and his 19 children. Has black marble urns on obelisks, and his coat of arms are held on a broken pediment. Memorials followed architectural fashion. By the late 17th century, they're becoming increasingly baroque, and we find cherubs, garlands of fruit and flowers, lots of drapery and even more elaborate urns. This memorial to Lord Foley, which also shows his wife and 5 children, is by Michael Rysbrack. Dates to 1735, and it's in the Church of St Michael and All Angels, Great Whitley in Shropshire. A conventional obelisk crowded with tiers of family members, said to be the largest of its type in England, and Roman dress was a popular affectation in the 18th century. Among the best known sculptors of the 19th century arguably England's finest, Sir Francis Leggatt Chantrey. He was born at Jordanthorpe, which is now in Sheffield but was then North Derbyshire, and this is his memorial to David Pike Watts at the Church of the Holy Cross, Ilam in Staffordshire. Commissioned in 1816, the year that David Pike Watts died. And it's sublimely realistic. Pike Watts is shown reclining on a couch and reading to his family. Chantrey was also responsible for the sleeping children at Lichfield Cathedral. This tender memorial to Ellen Jane and Marianne Robinson, the granddaughters of the Dean of Lichfield Cathedral. And Chantrey's inspiration was a memorial by Thomas Banks to Penelope Boothby, who had died 1791, aged just 5 years. It's in Carrera marble at St Oswald's Church, Ashbourne in Derbyshire. When Francis Chantrey died in 1842, his studio was taken on by one of his workers, Henry Weeks, who completed Chantrey's unfinished commissions and became very successful in his own right and Professor of Sculpture at the Royal Academy. And he was commissioned by Shelley's son, who was also called Percy, after the death of his mother, Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley, author of Frankenstein. And the sculpture shows Mary Shelley mourning over her husband's drowned body. Eric Gill carried the arts and crafts banner into the 20th century, and he is best known for his sculpture and for his typefaces, and he was responsible for this fine World War I memorial at St Mary's Church, South Harting in West Sussex. And Gill carved this very poignant Virgin and Child, which is in St Mary's Church, Lapworth in Warwickshire. These are genuine works of art that can be found in our parish churches. Next time I'm going to stay with art as a theme, but I'm going to look at stained glass. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons and click on the notification bell to be informed when the next video is available, or you can subscribe by clicking on the rose window over my shoulder.